Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video. The TWAB just went live minutes ago. I didn't even see it on Twitter, someone just kind of pinged me about it, and sure enough, the TWAB is here. So last week's was like essentially nothing. I did a brief scroll through here to see if this was going to be as short. Does not seem to be. There is some stuff in here, though I didn't read the details. I just saw that it was longer than last week's. So I am going to do a read through here, and we can all experience it together. This week at Bungie, we are riding high on the Eruption love, giving thanks for our 6 feet tall jelly beans and getting our gear ready for the Master Kingsfall raid. Another week, another excuse to drop some truly not great jokes. Oh, and some info. We've got that too. Well, not every TWAB will have a ton of new info. That's the nature of life, baby. This one does have some key dates, a closer look at another Destiny 2 crossover, and some important updates on known issues. But before we dive into that, we've got a quick update from our product security team. Ready to go? Let's get into it. The multiple facets of online game security. Before we jump right into what we've got going on this week, we want to take a moment to share more insight on recent activity around account bans. We've got the Bungie product security team here to chat about what's on the horizon regarding account protection and maintaining a solid foundation of integrity for our play. Bungie product security. Probably good to not name the individual people within Bungie product security lest they be harassed by cheaters and people who are banned. Our mission is to protect players from cheating and enable players to experience the game as its talented designers intended. We want to prevent cheaters from being able to ruin the experience for legitimate players, whether that be directly in competitive PvP or indirectly via boosting or making new burner accounts and bringing them into endgame content like trials. The success of BattleEye has allowed us to focus on new data science, machine learning, and analysis tools. Some of the first detections went into limited deployment earlier this year, and we have moved into some full production with others coming later this year. After building our model, we carefully tracked and accounted for the changes introduced by each game release, analyzed known bugs for likely impact, and assessed sandbox changes. We did all of this to minimize the risk of false positives. Beyond these initial precautions, we set very generous thresholds so that no one would be banned for having cosmic rays strike their computer and flip an errant bit. After all of that, if there are any borderline cases, we use some signatures that indicate the presence of certain cheats on the user's computer. This resulted in one of the largest ban waves in our history. Some people whose accounts were banned have said they don't remember cheating. It's an odd way to phrase that. When we investigate these cases, we often find they gave their account to someone else to play the game for them. We again remind everyone that you must protect your account and do not use account recovery services. Saying that your fingers were not on the keyboard when the cheating occurred will not be considered during an appeal. So this whole thing is essentially you're doing even more bans now, and if you were banned, you probably are going to deserve to be banned, and don't do account recov, because if the recov has cheats, you will pay the price for that. Iron Banter. Liana. A post-eruption look. Like many of you, I spent a lot, probably more than wise, of time going head-to-head with fellow Guardians in the newly added Eruption mode that took over Iron Banner this season. For a quick first week wrap-up, we've got the Rituals team back once more to dive into the reactions to Eruption and some inside info into a change that went live midweek regarding skill-based matchmaking. Have to believe that's about quitting penalties, maybe, hopefully. They did disable those. They just said they were disabling them for now, but they will be back on later. One more note before we dive in. The SBMM midweek changes did not apply to Iron Banner. Oh, so maybe this isn't about quitting penalties. They only impacted the controlled playlist. Rituals, a celebration of PvP for everyone. I wonder if they're doing this on purpose, where they're just not listing specific people's names as much anymore. Celebration of PvP for everyone. One of our main goals with the changes to Iron Banner was to lower the barrier of entry and widen the funnel for players to participate in the Iron Banner. Historically and expectantly, we usually see the most engagement on the first day of the event, followed by a significant drop-off in players until the weekend comes. With Eruption, we are seeing a consistent number of players across all days and even an increase on the weekend. The number of hours played per player over each subsequent day of the week continues to increase. That's surprising, actually. We'd like to interpret this as generally favorable feedback regarding the game mode as well as the Iron Banner ritual. We're glad to see that this is resonating with a large demographic of players, and we're hopeful that we're on the right track toward accomplishing our goals. Yeah, so this is what I said Eruption was a success. When I tweet that to a bazillion people, of course I have a lot of people chiming in being like, no, it was terrible, it was the worst. But I think overwhelmingly, most people liked it, and it was a success. I mean, you got to take them where you can get them in PvP, so I have no qualms about calling that a success. Scoring issue. That said, we are aware of a bug where shutdown points are being awarded for each damage participant. This is not intended and causing larger swings in team scores than intended. I did wonder that. Yeah, because the catch-up factor was like massive. We are actively investigating the issue and are looking to get a fix for the second week. All right, I'm curious to see how that changes things, because like I don't know, it was almost good sometimes because it like kept you in the game with these huge swings, but I guess that wasn't how it was supposed to be. Control, matchmaking changes, and quitter penalty. Okay, we are talking about it. Matchmaking times and skill. On average, matchmaking times for control have only increased by about 10 to 15 seconds. We're glad to have not increased matchmaking times for the majority of players, but for players on either extreme of the skill curve, their matchmaking times have either doubled or more than doubled. High and low skill players naturally have fewer opponents at their level. As such, we are adjusting our configurations so that matchmaking expands to a wider range of skills sooner, thereby finding a match sooner for those players. We don't expect this to affect the control experience for most players in the middle of the pack, and we hope it broadens the available pool of guardians for high and low skill players to match with. Latency. While we expect the above change to reduce matchmaking times, we are also comfortable tuning the knobs to prioritize latency a bit more. We realize our initial numbers allowed for higher latency connections earlier than necessary. We made a change to restrict latency for longer before expanding the allowable latency threshold. This change sacrifices some matchmaking time for the sake of better quality matches. Overall effect, players matching in under a minute should see no change in skill of player or connection quality. Players that take longer than a minute to match should see increased connection quality, but a slightly wider skill section of players. So this is the kind of stuff they said they were going to do at the beginning of this, where like over time they were going to just keep tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it, and this is kind of the result of that. Quitter penalty. We are aware there's been an increase in quit rates for certain lobbies, whether due to connection quality or skill of opponent's match, particularly high skill players. Also due to maps. Remember that it's a lot about the maps. Not that I condone quitting for getting a map, but that is what the reason a lot of people give. While we hope the above changes alleviate the quitting issue, we would like to actively discourage quitting, as it can negatively impact remaining players. As such, we have added control to the list of activities that can trigger the Crucible suspension system. Note that suspension timers for control are temporarily shared with the competitive playlist Glory and Trials. We are actively working on separating the suspension timer for competitive versus selection. So they are talking about maps. Okay, map selection. Outside of one map, is it Disjunction? It's Disjunction. We don't see any predictable difference in quit rate between maps. So while we will be making changes to map weighting soon, thank God, we don't see this as a major factor in quit rate. While we have always weighted new maps higher for a couple seasons in the interest of letting players see new content, we also started specializing playlist maps in Season 18, starting with Control. We used a number of factors in determining initial weightings, quit and mercy rates, player sentiment, internal surveys, and more. We will continue to periodically analyze the process, and as always, we welcome your feedback. In the interest of transparency, we would like to share the current map selections for Control. Increased weighting, Disjunction, no kidding. Cathedral of Dusk. Full weighting, Fragment, Twilight Gap, Rusted Lands, Distant Shore, Endless Vale, Fortress, Reading Cliffs, Pacifica, Altar Flame, Javelin 4, Widow's Court, Vostok, Eternity. Reduced weighting, Bannerfall, Midtown, Exodus Blue, Wormhaven, Burnout. I feel like I still get Wormhaven a ton. Significantly reduced weighting, Dead Cliffs removed, Anomaly, The Cauldron, Convergence. In the next patch, which goes live on September 15th, we are lowering the weighting of Disjunction and Cathedral of Dusk from increased to full. Okay, so these will be as much of all of the others. I like that they were transparent and they gave the whole list. That's something. I think that's more than we've gotten before. I didn't realize they took out Anomaly altogether. Anomaly was a freaking crazy sixes map. All right, now there is a Fall Guys crossover. Yeah, I don't know how much I care about the Fall Guys crossover. There's little chonky things here. Okay, I mean that's fine. I get this part of their deal with Epic, but I'm less enthused about this than I am the Fortnite one, because I actually play Fortnite sometimes. All right, Master Raid. So you find yourself in a Master Raid. Now what? Okay, so we've all been having fun slinging Oryx's sorry butt into the great unknown, right? Well, you all have been busy capturing that enticing Golgoroth gaze. Our Epic Raid team has been working hard on upping the ante a bit. Anybody looking to fire your team up for a Masters King's Fall? You better be, because Oryx is about to go Super Saiyan on September 20th, 2022, 5 days from now. Even better, we're sweetening the pot with new challenges. Oh yeah, it's going down. Here's what you need to know. Tuesday, September 20th, rewards double loots for the encounter the challenge is active on. Master encounters reward stat focus armor. Challenges reward adept weapons. All encounters are set at power level 1600. Powerful cap plus 30. Like any master level piece of endgame content, Master King's Fall will be hard, really hard, but not impossible. So fire team, make sure to communicate with your crew. Don't forget the most important thing of all, Auric spawns in the back. Yes, I agree. I am on team Auric spawns in the back. That is definitely the correct answer, but that is the minority opinion, as I've seen with every survey. Player support, just going to skip to known issues. Reports of players unable to access Destiny 2 on PS4. Yeah, I've had a couple people ping me about this. To raise awareness of this, which apparently I have not done, so I'm doing it now. And they already know about it. 120 refresh is missing. Next-gen consoles. Rift Lost Sector is missing triumphs and lists the wrong shields. Charge melee key binding functions inconsistently with Titan Thunderclap when in close range of enemies. Wasn't this just hotfixed this week? I haven't tried it, but I thought that's what it was. Can't get the Sparrow from collections. Doris Con is in the collections. Expedition doesn't show any stats in the activity summary. Does it not? I guess I never noticed. Xenology Exotic Quest isn't counting. Repeatable Star Trek bounties are purchased infinitely or something. Okay. Movie of the week. Something has gone wrong with embeds here, I think, for all of this stuff. And okay. This is a tribute. I'll read this. One more moment of your time for a friend. Hi, everyone. My name is Drew, player support and community moderation lead. Some of you may know me as Eduardo. Earlier this year, we lost a well-respected and longtime member of our community, Seraphim Crypto. Almost 9 months in, and the pain of loss remains for many of us who knew him. Trying to put into words the loss we felt has been a challenge, even now, so here's a link to an obituary I wrote back in January about my friend. As time has slowly gone by, I have dug into our moderation chat to find some of his favorite things he shared with us. Sarah's favorite Destiny class was the Exo Void of Dawn Titan. His favorite armor was the Scourge of the Past Black Armory. Good taste. He loved using bows. His favorite number was 37. His favorite color was purple. He loved toast, and he always fought for human rights. To honor his memory and be a part of our game forever, several of us at Bungie, who are so incredibly awesome to help make this happen, were able to work with our designers to create a new community emblem, Seraphim's Gauntlets. This emblem represents his love of Destiny, Titan Gauntlets, and the number 37. While there are only 36 dots, one is left unlit in the center to represent the loss we feel for him. I hope that everyone who wears this emblem can feel the same connection we felt for Seraphim Crypto and the love for our community. If you want to join us by honoring our friend, here's the emblem that allows us another opportunity to do just that. And here's the code. I feel like they were probably supposed to put the emblem in here, but you can put that code in and get it for yourself. You know what that sound is, Guardians? That's the sound of another TWAB coming to a close. But seriously, on a more personal note, don't sleep on the Fall Guys crossover. That game has been a delight and one I return to regularly. Even if I still don't have any crowns, I just cannot for the life of me get good. Even I have a crown. Come on. I played this game for like 2 seconds. Liana, get good. Because of how much joy it brings to a group of friends. It's fun time. It's an excuse to have Destiny 2 exist in the same universe as other iconic characters like Gordon from Half-Life, Sonic the Hedgehog, Altair from Assassin's Creed, and a plethora of other mighty heroes. It just works, you know? If you've seen Fortnite, there's like 50,000 crossovers. Next week, we'll be diving into some weapon theory, interesting, showing off some spiffy ornaments and more. Until then, I think this is for the voting thing. Until then, for the love of Saint 14's pigeons, drink your water, take care of you, and never forget to always try to put that kindest foot forward. See you next week. I should go hippie. Okay, no like news, but they did address the quitting penalty, talked about SBMM, talked about why Eruption was a success, more or less. And yeah, so not a ton. The map waiting list is interesting. I mean, I feel like if you play a ton, you might be able to guess at this yourself. But this is also just control, so it's not the same on everything. But yeah, so that's the TWAB. And I'm going to go do some more crafting grinding, because that's essentially all I do. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Take care.